Hi people, welcome back to TSTALKS Sport. As we all know, the transfer window is coming towards an end in terms of us being able to sign players, but it's still open until the end of August for teams in other European leagues to sign our players. One of the key things that we've needed to do this window is clear out the Deadwood. Now, I know it's a tough ask as there's not going to be a long queue of teams desperately attempting to sign players who haven't performed in a poor Arsenal side, along with some of our players being too comfortable at the club and being on wages which other teams simply won't pay. But since before the end of last season, we've known in theory what players need to go, and we just haven't really made the efforts in terms of getting rid of these players. I think the top player on everyone's list, Squadron Mustafi, everyone knows he's been a liability on numerous occasions. And personally, I think he'd probably be better off playing at right back. Not for Arsenal, but maybe just in general for his own personal gain. He'd probably be better off at right back than at centre half. I've seen reports that the club have actually tried to sell him during most windows since we've signed him. And the fact he's still here isn't good enough. And at the same time, probably just goes to show that, clubs just ain't really that interested in him. I know there's talks about AS Monaco, and they're looking to be interested in buying him, and Arsenal looking for something like around 27 million. I'll tell you what, if we can get 27 million for Mustafi, that is some sort of robbery. But hopefully he can be cleared out during this window. I know that we'll never recoup the full 35 that we spent on him, and you just have to take a loss. Arsenal's asking for 27. Personally, if it was me, I would take 15. I know he's come out and said he wants to stay, but it's quite toxic between him and the fans, and for him as a person, as an individual human, etc., it's best for him that he goes. Next player I'm going to move on to is Jenkinson. Somehow the only player left of the once big British core, which included players such as Ramsey, Wilshere, Oxlade-Chamberlain and Kieran Gibbs. He's never been good enough, and even with Bellerin's big injury last season, he wasn't even in contention for the right back spot. Clearly Emery doesn't have any faith in him at all. Bearing in mind we had both Jenkinson and Lichtsteiner as right back options last season, and it was Maitland-Niles that had to play that role. So it's quite clear that what Emery's thoughts are on him. For Jenkinson, he's always seemed to be able to somehow dodge a transfer window with injury, if it's not been one where he's gone out on loan. But it's one of them ones, enough's enough. Time for him to go. He's not good enough for the first team. He's not good enough for the under 18s or the under 23s. And, it's time for him to move on and better his own personal career. Next player I'm going to move on to, Koscielny. As much as he seemed he could still do a job last season, I did think it was time for him to go based on his injury record and factor of him not being able to play more than one game a week. Of course, after his recent actions with refusing to travel for pre-season tour, etc., now I want him gone even more, and I have actually done 2 separate videos regarding him, so please ensure you do go check them out. Last player I'm going to speak about here is Elneny. Now, at one time there were some Arsenal fans calling him a gem and hyping the goal he scored against Barcelona as a good goal, but we didn't win the game. Was one of them Champions League moments where we make it to the last 16 and get spun. But when you break it down, for the money that was actually spent on him, £5 million, I think he's exceeded that. I definitely think he's worth more than that now. You could probably sell him for double that. But he just isn't good enough. And again, that was proved last season. He was shocking when he played in his actual position, which is central midfield. And at one point, I thought that he might actually be selected to fill in at centre half when we had a defensive crisis, but instead the manager had to chuck Granit Xhaka in there, which goes to show that I thought that, and then he might actually get a chance in there based on the fact that he had played in there also before. But it wasn't meant to be. And I think that for £10 million he could go somewhere and he could make a decent career for himself, but his future doesn't lay at Arsenal Football Club. And apologies, I know I mentioned last player, but it's not last player I'm speaking about here is Mkhitaryan. I think most people would agree it was the worst swap deal in history. No disrespect to him, he's had some good performances for Arsenal, but they've been, one in many, to be honest. I feel that for him at this current moment in time, he's probably better off more playing in like a 10 role than playing out wide. But again, he hasn't shown the qualities consistently enough, and I just feel he's someone that needs to go. Again, because of his high wages, there's not going to be teams really queuing up to take him, but surely he can be sold, maybe to a club back in Germany where he flourished, when he was at Dortmund before he came to the Prem. But, I'm not, you add up all those players we speak about. Mustafi, maybe get a 15 for him. Jenkinson a 5. Koscielny probably get a 5, so that's like 25. Elneny 10, 35. Mkhitaryan, I don't know, you might have to sell him for 15 as well just to get him off the book. So, there's not much money to be made from there, but it'll be good to get some of these players off the wage book, and they're just not good enough for the side. Just don't continue to roll with them, really, in theory. That's my thoughts on it anyways. But that's all from me regarding it. Of course, I'd be interested to hear your points in the comment section down below, and of course feel free to mention any players you thought should have been in that list also. But that's all from me on this one. If you haven't already done so, go hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you next time.